The Nifty Show!
And welcome to the Nifty Show. I am Nifty Joel.
And I am apparently Nifty Zach. This has never been recorded as being my first name. I swear it's not actually Nifty. That's a descriptor, an adjective.
A pronoun, perhaps. You may refer to me as Nifty and Nifties.
Nifty self.
So, doing this show a little bit differently today, as you can see, for those of you who are watching the video variation of this here broadcast, that Zach is with me at my place in Puerto Rico. He actually lives on the island as well, but he's way on the other side. So this is prohibitive in many circumstances.
But I am not a hologram. You are actually seeing me here.
Look, proof. Substantive. And today we thought, rather than have a guest, we would talk about the future of blockchain gaming, because to date, let's just say that most gaming on the blockchain has been underwhelming, less than whelming.
There's a lot of real games that I would describe as underwhelming. It seems to me that blockchain gaming is really in its infancy, and it has yet to mature beyond the toddler stage.
So right now it just needs and wants our attention.
Yes, there's lots of colic involved.
It's very demanding. So not having had a baby yet, colic is like once you get past. That's baby. Toddlers don't
You're
colic.
outing me as not having kids. All right,
That's okay. I have two though. This is one of them. So you did not have colic, by the way.
So I've been told.
I was very grateful. He slept literally like a baby. So tell people a little bit about your gaming background, because you really are an authority in this space. Keep it brief.
I just do a whole lot of fucking gaming. I've adored games ever since I was a very small child. They grabbed my attention, they held it wrapped, and I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, is it a game?
Hello, base department.
Hey, it's real, it's live, it's unedited. You've played
We're not cutting that.
thousands of games.
Many thousands of games. I have 4,000 games on my Steam account, none of which I own, by the way. That's going to be relevant later.
But you paid for them.
Yes, I did pay for them.
But you don't own them.
According to the terms of service, I have paid for licenses to access the software. Which is,
so this is actually a good starting point. Before
Sure.
we get into blockchain gaming, let's talk. The gaming industry is bigger than the film industry, right? It brings in more billions
and
of
growing
dollars.
by the year.
And growing. And so it's significant. But the model is broken in parts. What are the biggest pain points for gamers?
Yeah, and I want to highlight that this isn't by design, but rather by sort of legal necessity for the entities that brought us the incredibly easy access that we now have to games. The vast majority of video games now are distributed digitally, meaning there's no more physical media. People are not really buying CDs for games, and in most cases they're not manufactured at all.
Who wants more stuff?
Right, who wants more stuff? You will own nothing and be happy.
Yes, and eat bugs.
So instead, Steam, as a great example, because they have like over 90% market share in the gaming digital distribution industry on PC, which is also the largest gaming platform, they don't sell the games themselves. They sell licenses to access the games using their own software. Valve is the company that develops Steam. Steam is the platform. And the first and most obvious pain point that comes out of this is that, well, there's no guarantee that all of those thousands of games that I have licenses to are going to even be there tomorrow. Anything could happen if the company were to somehow go under or come under new management and change their terms of service. My access to those games could be revoked at any given time, and that would be many thousands of dollars.
That hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened. It's something that could theoretically happen. It would be legal for that to happen. And
if I buy you could still go to the store and buy boxed copies of games. I could go and I could buy that box, and then I can sell it on eBay. Mm-hmm. How do I do that with a Steam game?
So there is a way to do it, but it's not legal. I can't condone it for that reason.
Was it selling accounts?
Exactly. That's right.
Okay.
Just like people do with MMO. So if somebody plays
In
World of
eBay,
Warcraft a
like
lot.
they build an eBay account and they get power seller status, and then let's say they're done, they can sell that account to somebody else.
I think that typically eBay doesn't allow for that, but there are black market and gray market websites like G2A and Kinguin that will facilitate the selling of accounts or other things that would normally break developer, publisher, and seller terms of service.
Kenguin?
Kinguin.
Spell it.
King, U-I-N. Like
Oh, King Win. I thought it was a Kenguin, like as a penguin named Ken.
No, it's a...
I am Kenguin.
The king penguin might be named Ken, but I wouldn't know.
King Win. Got it. So when you go into Fortnite or any of these games, we've played some of these games together, Dauntless and Team Fortress 2. There are marketplaces that are legit for like TF2, right? If you want to sell hats and skins, Fortnite too.
Valve is really an outlier in this regard. So Valve being the developer for Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike, they have these enormous game item markets that are built into Steam, their platform, where you can actually get these really rare gun and knife skins or these really rare hats for Team Fortress 2. And some of those have been known to be sold for up to thousands of dollars. However, if you successfully sell something on Steam, you can't take that money back out. You receive your payment in the form of Steam credit, just one giant gift card. And that is the extent of the agency that you have over those items. Now, I want to emphasize that Steam is an outlier here because there's no other company I know of that allows for this kind of activity. The universal standard across gaming is that anything that you earn or unlock in games, you can't extract the value outside of the game. It's stuck there. It's not something you actually own. It's something that lives inside the software that you have a license to access.
So I searched for Fortnite marketplaces because Fortnite is probably the biggest, right, multiplayer.
It's one of the biggest
games
right now.
And this is not owned by Epic, but you can go in here and you can go into the Fortnite shop, and people are buying and selling certain items here. How are those transferable between accounts, or are these not transferable items?
Those are not transferable. So how does that work? That's a great question.
Like there's a Harley Quinn skin. How does somebody get the Harley Quinn skin?
It's possible that Fortnite has a gifting mechanism that I might not be aware of. I'm not sure how else they would deliver items other than selling accounts themselves.
Right. So basically it's not built into the game.
Correct.
And you don't really, you own it, but the only way you can sell it is black market-ish.
Basically.
Whereas games that have NFTs in them, they're open marketplaces to buy, sell, and trade whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that happen in some blockchain games effectively, but we came up in the Wax ecosystem.
Right.
Being the developer of Blockchain Heroes, and of course you're developing your Draco Dice and building games around that. What is broken in the blockchain gaming world?
Well, who's actually playing blockchain games?
NFT collectors.
That's right. It's not actually gamers.
Well, there's an overlap.
There is a very small overlap in a very small number of games. Like if you look at Splinterlands and Gods Unchained, like those are the two at the top of my head where there are some actual gamers, people who
Upland?
are games enthusiasts. There might be some in Uplands, perhaps.
Okay.
Who are playing the games because they enjoy playing the games. But the vast majority of the population that's currently playing blockchain games are what I would describe as Web3 people, like us if we weren't gamers.
Which is different than a webbed feet person. Not that there's anything wrong with
That's very different.
people with
I
webbed
mean,
feet.
there could be some crossover there too. You could have a webbed feet Web3 person.
So I'm looking here at the top blockchain games on playtoearn.net. Great domain. Whoever sees that. Axie is number one. And what happened when the value of their love potion collapsed?
Axie fell victim to the same sort of incidental pyramid scheme disaster that the majority of play-to-earn games have come across. And that seems to me to be indicative of two problems. One, that they are not able to garner interest in the actual gaming community and are instead sustained by people in Web3. And two, that there is entirely too much speculation involved in the value of the assets, as opposed to people primarily placing value on them because the assets are intrinsically desirable.
Ah, that's a really good point. See, this is the difference between play to earn and play for fun. Right, because what we've seen, for example, one of the earliest games on Wax, games, in quotes, big hairy quotation marks, not that my fingers are hairy, was Our Planet. Right, Our Planet did a great job in selling assets, which would be used to mine Aether, and then you would be able to stake NFTs from across multiple collections and earn more Aether, and combine your elements that you made to create new elements, which would then drive more. And every day you would go in and you would click a button to claim your Aether, and if you didn't click it, well, early on you could wait to click it, but now if you don't go in and click it, you can lose it.
Right.
So is that fun?
No, there's absolutely nobody who would be playing that game if it weren't Web3 and didn't offer the potential for revenue for its users.
So let me play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Because last night I was up late on my iPad playing a cookie clicker, which is a game that goes absolutely nowhere, has no end.
Listen,
there's
now
no
what you're
winning.
talking about, now is you're talking about incremental games, and incremental games are playing on these really niche areas of our brains, where our human psychology loves the whole numbers go up thing.
Yeah.
Which our planet doesn't have that. Okay.
No.
Our planet never had that.
Well, the numbers do go up if you go in to click your items. It still plays psychologically on that a little bit, because if you don't go in and claim it, you lose it.
Right, but that's purely powered by a sense of FOMO, rather than I'm going to upgrade my production buildings to increase the rate at which I am baking more cookies.
To do nothing, to go nowhere. If you don't know what a cookie clicker is, go and search.
Or don't save yourself the time. Okay, but I can summarize this really quickly, because we probably just lost a bunch of people. Cookie clicker and other incremental games are where you are simply generating this number of a widget. In Cookie Clicker's case, it's cookies. And you can spend cookies to upgrade the rate at which you make more cookies. And it just goes ad infinitum until you're creating quadrillions and much larger numbers that I don't have.
This is the game. It's plugged in my bedroom, called Deep Web, and I've got, 4.9 trillion of a thing, and it's just incrementally making more things.
We're so off topic.
But, it's not completely off topic, because this idea that, is this fun? Well, there's something about it that's fun.
I think these are. I love some incremental games. Huge fan of some incremental.
Quote,
games.
I love me some incremental games.
Yeah, they can be really interesting.
All right, so we'll steer things back here. Our Planet, Green Rabbit, I think they actually have.
Green Rabbit made some kind of actual game.
Yeah, there's some actual gaming going on in there. But a lot of these games aren't really fun. So what do we need to shift in our perspective regarding NFTs and gaming?
So you're on the right track when you say that we need to make games fun. That's a given. That's absolutely true. When we're making Web3 games, we need to prioritize fun as the main thing that's being sold, not the NFTs, not the speculative value of the NFTs. But I think that a holistic solution to this problem of not actually being able to get gamers to play blockchain games, which is going to severely restrict the value of play to earn, is that we have to actually attack the speculative potential of the assets themselves. And we have to attack the idea that you can replace your job with income made from play to earn games. Now, you can point to the survivors of any play-to-earn economy, like Axie, the people who actually did make off with 100,000 X, and say, well, what about those people? And that's That's the pyramid scheme at work. Those are the people who got the exit early when the getting was good. And the vast majority of users are not getting that kind of response out of play-to-earn games.
I did not sell I did not play the game, but I own AXS. I did not sell it. I did not sell it.
But as long as there's going to be the selling point that's about you can make all this money by playing this game and selling the assets that you're getting from it, as long as that is a primary selling point, there is going to be a lot more speculator traffic attracted than there will be gamer traffic. Part of the reason for why that is because gamers can smell bullshit. And they have been trained, you might not have noticed, they've been trained over the course of the last year or so to immediately identify Web3 and play-to-earn as bullshit, because a gamer looks at a play-to-earn game and knows instantly, okay, so there are some rich assholes that don't care about the gameplay who are profiteering off of this. And they're basically there to exploit people like me who aren't spending all this money.
Why do they have to be assholes?
Well, you could make the argument that they're operating completely legally and justly within the capitalist system.
It takes their investment to make the game go. Why, like, there might not be a game if you didn't.
I mean, we could have a whole episode on the ethics of this question, because I would say that that's not entirely ethical, and that could actually be very unethical.
See part 2 soon. I don't know. It could make for an interesting topic. Did you lose your train of thought?
No, it's that it's stopped at a station and there's boarding taking place. So some people got to get off and some people.
Ticket, please. Gotta click your cookies.
The angle at which Web3 games are produced, if we want to get gamers into Web3, which we do just because of how huge gaming is, and because this beast cannot sustain itself on Web3 traffic. It needs to integrate with the traditional video gaming structure and that audience. Those people need to know how they benefit from this system, and the idea that we can convey those benefits to them by just saying, oh, you truly own your assets, whatever that means, and you can make lots of money doing this, that's not going to fly. It's not working. It hasn't been working. It's taking enormous amounts of effort. It's pulling teeth to get real gamers, real people that are consuming games into these titles.
Fair enough. Okay. So you're taking this approach with Draco Dice. I mean, you're looking at it and going, I don't want to make it about the NFTs. I want the game to be fun, which is kind of what Blankos Mythical, what they've done, right? They've created this world. I would say
they've done a better job of it than almost anybody.
They've got party games, galore, but in the game, you buy the Blankos characters and you own those, and you can sell them to others for real money, right? I've got some of the Founders editions that I keep them boxed. They sit on my shelf because I don't really play the game,
right?
So I can be an investor, but in this case, not an asshole, because
sure. And I'm not saying all investors are assholes, but it's possible. It's like, tell me that this hasn't happened. Let me frame it this way. Tell me this hasn't happened, where somebody has gone in to look at a game on the grounds that they believe it will be attractive to gamers,
right? And
they know that they can utilize the scarcity of some of the most valuable assets in that game, monopolize the quantity of scarce assets in order to make gamers who actually want to use the assets pay more.
Well, yeah, but
isn't that literally scalping?
It's literally scalping.
Scalping.
It's the ticket headhunters for the concerts buying up with a call center worth of people buying up as many tickets as they can, not to go to the concert, but to sell them on the secondary market.
Same thing with PlayStation 5s, because Sony has struggled with supply lines.
Same thing with Beanie Babies and Tickle Me Elmos and everything. If there's an opportunity for people to make money, they're going to capitalize on that.
Same thing with a lot of NFT releases. How many NFT releases have we seen where there was less of a supply than there was demand, and the supply was gone in a matter of seconds?
Right.
And who bought that supply? It wasn't all people who actually wanted the assets. It was people who knew they could flip for a super fast profit.
Okay, so You know, as I look through this play to earn top blockchain games, I notice a lot of them aren't actual games. They're metaverses, virtual worlds, if you will, versus, not metaverses.
We need to have an episode on what metaverse means.
Well, you know, I've ranted on that specifically many times.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Travis could probably repeat my rant because I've said it so many times.
Verbatim.
Yes. You know, most of these ones I'm looking at here, a lot of them are what they call metaverses, which you can't actually earn anything in yet. But I think it's a step in the right direction, kind of like, isn't that what Blankos has? They have this virtual world, and in that world, while you're playing, you can earn.
There is a very small number of what I would describe as proto-metaverses, like Tower Unite and perhaps Second Life and maybe VR Chat, that are designed to be social spaces but also have games built into them in a way that was clearly intentional from the beginning. So where, you know, like with Tower Unite, it's primarily a social space, but then they built it to also build mini golf into it, among other mini games. So this platform that serves multiple purposes, one of which is allowing for socialization, and the other of which is playing a game. And yes, Blankos definitely fits that.
So and I've never played enough Blankos to know, you know, can you actually earn? But you do earn Blankos bucks with your NFT item, and then when you save them up, you can purchase an NFT from the in-game store with your Blankos bucks. So, yeah. Now, there was this piece of news that came out yesterday that, and for those who don't know what day it is currently the 21st of July, and the story that came out yesterday kind of rocked the gaming world because Minecraft said no NFTs in the Minecraft universe, which of course two such NFT games, NFT worlds, which I bought one and now I regret because they're virtually worthless now, and the Uplift world, both built on Minecraft.
So I have to preface this topic by saying I'm shocked that the Uplift and NFT worlds were able to get as far as they did with this, because Minecraft is somebody else's IP. You know, it never belonged to either of these other companies, and saying no NFTs allowed is completely within Microsoft's right, because it's their service. It's not an open source thing that just anybody can walk into and use for whatever reason. You know, I never saw anything unethical with the idea of running a Minecraft server where you sell plots of land, which is what the Uplift and I presume NFT worlds did. And I thought that was a great idea. That said, maybe we could have seen this one coming.
It's a perfect example of what happens when you build on rented land. You don't do that in the real world. You buy property.
That's a really terrible irony, considering that there's multiple layers of land here in the first place.
You mean
the rented land of renting Microsoft's land,
right?
And then creating plots of land within that land to sell to.
I think what's going to happen with NFT Worlds and the Uplift is they're going to go, okay, we're going to transition to a Minecraft clone, or they're going to build their own.
Right.
They're not going to give up. They're going to bring value to their community, especially NFT Worlds, because they have big coffers. They raised a lot of money, and I looked in their Discord, and they're not leaving. So this is an opportunity for them to pivot, and maybe will end up benefiting them greatly in the long run because they can actually own the land and not be kicked off by the slumlord.
I guarantee that both of these companies and each of their efforts have run into a lot of obstacles just because they were trying to work with a tool that was built by somebody else and not for that purpose.
Mm-hmm. So they might it might be a good time to buy some NFT Worlds. I don't know. It's down 66% from when the tweet came out. This is not investment advice. Go do your own damn research.
Wild, Wild West.
Yes. So what's the bottom line on play to earn gaming? What does it look like, and combine that with, you know, your approach to what you're doing with Draco Dice?
Can't call it play to earn anymore. The term play to earn is effectively dead.
But it's not. People are going to keep using
No,
it the way.
Yes, everybody else is going to catch up to what I am saying right now.
Okay.
We're both futurists here, and
He's
I am giving you the future. Play to earn
prognosticating.
is dead. There is money in it right now. There will continue to be money in it until the industry matures to the point where they realize, oh, we can't sustain this off of the same group of patsies over and over who are going to buy at low levels into this vision that is not built to be sustainable economically, which has been the problem.
And you don't know this yet, but you're about to know this, but you're going to write an article called Play to Earn is Dead.
I'm going to write an article called Play to Earn is Dead.
And it's going to get published.
I believe that.
I know it is. I know it's going to happen because I think it's an important message, and I think there's great link bait in it, but it's also true.
Declaring things dead is a very, very convincing angle of attack.
By the way, Bitcoin is dead for the 400th time. Oh wait, no, it's not. All right, hey, thanks for watching and or listening. Of course, as always, you are encouraged to subscribe, ring bells, tell a friend, send us cookies, leave a 5-star review, and we'll catch you next time.
Keep it nifty.
Looking into the future, what do we see? It's lined with digital collectibles, we call them NFTs. Games, trading cards, digital art, and those crypto kitties. Travis and Joel are the hosts, you'll know. Travis and Joel say this won't blow. They're locked and loaded, so ready, set, go! It's the Nifty, really kinda spiffy. The Nifty Show.